Hey, welcome back to HematiteHomestead. I'm getting ready to do some winter growing in my house in a 5-gallon bucket. All right, this is part of the 5-gallon challenge. It's being put on by Ryan over at Heavenly Hills Homestead. In a few moments, I'll throw a link up on top where you can get to his website for all the official rules. But basically, growing indoors in your house in a 5-gallon bucket between now and April 15th. And it's competition to see who can grow the most by weight. What I'm going to do today is show you how to get more growing space out of the 5-gallon bucket. Right, so some things you need is obviously you need a 5-gallon bucket. I got me a little sharp box cutter here, piece of wire conduit, and a hammer that I'm going to use just the handle for, and a propane torch. Right, so I've already filled this up with my dirt mixture to measure out 5 gallons, because when I get done with this, it's going to be a little bit lower, and I don't want to cheat and have more than 5 gallons of dirt in here. So I have that measured out over in the barn, and when I get this thing all done, I'll put it in here. I might cut it down a little bit, just depends on how much the dirt goes down in here. So I want to grow in this thing, but if you just fill it up with dirt, then you only get this surface right here. You can grow. You got 5 gallons of dirt in here, and it's pretty much just wasted space unless you're growing long root vegetable like a carrot or something like that. To get started here, I'm going to take my box cutter, and I'm just going to go in here, get this thing inserted into the bucket, and cut me out a line about 4 or 5 inches long. About time to change the blade. All right, so there I got my slit in the bucket. You can't hardly see it there. It's right through here. And the next step is propane torch. I got my torch fired up and I got it on about medium heat, and now I'm just going to heat up this area where I made the slit on the top and bottom of the slit. Lose its shape a little bit, and that tells me I'm probably ready for what I want to do. Yeah. Working this hole out. So I don't have it quite ready yet. We'll just keep working at it. And I'm starting to lose its shape a little bit, and that tells me I'm probably ready for what I want to do. Yeah. All right, there's what that looks like. I'm just going to do this all the way around the bucket. I'm going to do it 4 or 5 times around the bottom, and then I'll probably come up here about this level and do it again. You create a nice little pocket there to plant seeds, and will grow like leafy greens. So it'll grow up out of here. Don't require much root space, and we'll do the whole bucket like that.
ambitious on that one. So you see I poked a hole in it there. It's not a deal breaker. What I'm doing now, I'm just holding some pressure on it until it cools off and stays where I want it to stay. I'm just kind of stretching the plastic out to get you a nice little pocket. And once you're happy with it, just lay it off and let it cool off and it'll stay.
You'll notice this bucket has holes in the bottom of it. This is where I planted in it a year before last. We tried to grow some Roma tomatoes out in the garden in buckets. It didn't work out spectacular. Holes were in the bottom. After I did some research, it turns out holes in the bottom pretty much lets all your water exit out of the bucket. Everybody that I researched and followed on Facebook recommend drilling holes around a couple inches up on top here. That way some water retains in the bucket. This will work for growing in the house or doing.
Oh, you see there, you make a mistake and go all the way through it. It's not a deal breaker. I'm just going to let it cool off and it should be okay. Yeah. So there's the melt stage. So be careful with that. Cool off a little bit, so I'm just going to hold this in with my hand until it cools off. So it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to grow stuff. And it does have to retain some structural integrity so it doesn't collapse and fall down once I fill it with dirt. As you can see, the surface kind of sweating a little bit, starting to become pliable. Shut this off before I drop it. And I'll just put my round edge in here and just work it back and forth and try to stretch it out. Once it starts to cool a little bit, I'll put my hand in there and pull it out. Looks pretty good too. So I'll let this get nice and cool. And I've got me 1, 2, I got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 9 growing quarts, plus I can grow in the top. All right, so there's my 5-gallon bucket that I've created more surface area to grow in. I can grow on the top, and got 9 quarts in it that I can grow all the way around. I'll grow some leafy greens in the sides that are going to grow up. And I'm not quite sure what we're going to put in the middle of it yet. But there it is. There's one way that you can increase growing area in a 5-gallon bucket. Alright, there's part 1 of my 5-gallon bucket challenge. Hashtag 5-gallon challenge. And I'm gonna let this thing get cooled off, get my dirt filled up in it, and plant some seeds will be the next phase. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out the 5-gallon challenge, make sure you're hashtagging 5-gallon challenge and go over to Heavenly Hills Homestead and capture all the rules there for that. Stay tuned. Hopefully over the next couple of months we're going to have lots of green stuff growing out of this in the house. Make sure you look for HematiteHomestead on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and I'll see you next time.